Okay, good evening. Officially called to order at 6:01 PM. This is the Town of Alton Zoning Board of Adjustment Public Hearing. Thursday, November 7th, 2024, in the Alton Town Hall. First order of business is any appointment of alternates. Like to make a motion. Anybody like to make a motion to have Joe Manzik?
I would like to make a motion that Joe Manzik be an alternate for tonight's meeting.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd
Okay.
like to make a motion that Paul Monsioni become a alternate for the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That being said, the statement of the appeal process. The purpose of this hearing is to allow anyone concerned with an appeal to the Zoning Board of Adjustment to present evidence for or against the appeal. This evidence may be in the form of an opinion rather than an established fact. However, it should support the grounds that the board must consider when making a determination. Purpose of the hearing is not to gauge the sentiment of the public or hear personal reasons why individuals are for or against an appeal, but all facts and opinions based on reasonable assumptions will be considered. In the case of an appeal for a variance, the board must determine the facts bearing upon the 5 criteria as set forth in the state's statutes. For a special exception, the board must ascertain whether each of the standards set forth in the zoning ordinance have been or will be met. With that, as far as the agenda, we have to my right, Town Administrator Ryan Heath, myself, Vice Chair Frank Rich, Selectman Representative Paul LaRochelle, and as we duly noted, our 2 alternates, Paul Monsioni and Joe Manzik. In regards to our Code Enforcement Officer, Norma Dietrich, is on vacation, so Ryan is stepping in to fill her role. So I'll ask Ryan at this point, as far as the agenda is concerned, is there any changes?
There are no changes, just 2 continuances.
Okay. Could we have a motion to approve the agenda as so put forth?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, in regards to the first case of the night, we have 2 continuances, so we'll clear these both up and then get into the actual cases we'll be hearing. But the first case is KZ 24-44, Christopher Drescher, Esquire, agent for Robert Flannery and Alton Pittsburgh LLC, applicant and owner, map 31, lot 35, 223 Trash Side Road. It's an administrative appeal in the residential commercial zone. I have a correspondence, a couple of emails back and forth to Robin, our secretary. I
apologize for interrupting. I just want to clarify a typo on the agenda because it was read out loud. The Trash Side Road address is actually the address of record of the owner, not the property.
Yep.
The property in question is 208 Main Street.
Okay.
I noticed that. I just want to clarify that before we
Yep,
went
no
too
problem.
far for the record.
That being said, the attorneys, Christopher Drescher, Esquire, agent, has asked that we continue this case to the following month, which would be December 5th. So we can put that forth as far as a motion, as far as having this appeal. This would be the second time, just for note, this would be the second time we've asked for a continuance on the appeal portion of this administrative appeal. So any questions from the board?
No.
Do we need to make a motion on both?
Yes.
Okay.
But this is only the one.
Yeah,
at the
you're-
moment, right?
Just the
This is
first
just,
one,
yeah,
Z 24-44.
right.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion that we continue this to the December, as per requested by the applicant, to December 7th. Okay.
5th.
December 5th.
Yeah, I think it was December 5th.
December 5th.
December 5th, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll second.
Is it on discussion, if I may? So Christopher Drescher was, is that correct? Wasn't this attorney Bisson with this application? Am I wrong? The appeal, this is on Main Street, right? So it was attorney John Bisson was here at our last meeting when they were here, and we talked about continuing this and them going forward with an application for special exception. but that was John Bisson, and is it a different lawyer? I'm just want to make sure the
Same law firm, just a different.
Right.
just a different lawyer on the document.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, Paul.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And Chris was actually the one who had the correspondence.
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
forth.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure that that name on the.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so Frank, you made a motion. Can we have a
Made a
second?
motion.
I second.
All right, so all in favor?
I,
Okay, Z 24-44 will be continued until next month on December 5th. The next one I just want to move forward to, it's the last one on case. It's relative to the same property. It's case Z 24-47, Christopher Drescher, Esquire agent for Robert Flannery and Alton Pittsburgh LLC, applicant and owner. This is the actual address, as Ryan pointed out, map 31, lot 35 at 208 Main Street. And they're looking for a special exception in the residential commercial zone. They have also, in the same correspondence, asked for this case to also be continued until the December 5th meeting. This will be the first continuance for this actual special exception. Any questions?
I'm gonna make a motion to continue this Z 24-47 as per the request of the applicant's agent, Christopher Dresser, okay, by email, okay, to the December 5th meeting of the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, at this point, I just want to make note, we've had this happen at occasion in the past. If anybody is here or present for that case in particular, that case, just to be clear, will not be heard until December 5th. Apologize if anyone came here tonight to hear that case or be part of that case. So the 208 Main Street case will be heard December 5th. All right, that being said, we'll move forward. Case Z 24-45, it's a new application. It's Norway Plains Associates. Steve Oles, agent for Camp Point 5 Trust. Pete DeRosa is the trustee. This is map 12, lot 70 at 70 Bear Pond Road. It's a variance in the rural zone. A variance is requested from Article 400, Section 452B to allow the creation of a new lot with road frontage under 200 feet. Anybody here? Go ahead, sir. Have a seat, give us a minute, we'll go over the application, and you can hit the button here for your mic.
Gotta hit it to green. Want to make
Yeah,
it green.
just give us
There you go.
and your name,
That had to
sir.
be read. My name is Steve Oles from Norway Plains.
Okay, thank you. Give us 1 minute just to look through the application. Thank you.
I'd like to clarify before you look too hard, this is not a creation of a new lot.
Right.
Because you said the description was a creation of a new lot. This is not a creation of a new lot.
No, I don't believe I said new lot, but it is a new application. That's all. That's fine for clarity.
Referred to as new application.
Yeah.
Right.
It says right here, it's a permit for a lot line adjustment.
Correct.
which creates two new lots at that point, which are then subject to zoning as it exists at the time the lots are created. When you do a boundary line adjustment, you create two new lots. The two lots that are affected by the boundary line then become two new lots legally. And so it just, and then it's subject to zoning as it exists at that time, as opposed to what may have existed when those lots were originally created.
Yep, and that's part of my discussion earlier before the meeting started, is that these are original lots of record predating the zoning regulations. And it's a matter of you're making the situation better. You're not changing the
Which we
frontage.
can get
Right.
into, right? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the application Z 24-45 as complete.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. That being said, Mr. Oles, if you'd like to go through the narrative, why you're here, what's,
I'm just here to answer any questions the board might have. The board has already approved the variances for the area for DeRosa 2 months ago. The only reason why we're here is a formality for the frontage aspect of the lots. Ms. Cleary is here tonight. For the fact that she has the big lot out back, her lot is not changing, the frontage is not changing as part of this. And Keith DeRosa's frontage is not changing as part of this. It's literally a formality that based upon interpretation, we need to be here.
Chairman, if I may, just clarify the staff report you have is obviously what was created by, the code enforcement officer, Norma. But in clarification, the way that this was, explained to me and brought forward was, yes, this was a previous application where the lot line adjustment was approved, to make sure that the leach field stayed on the applicant's property. When they had it surveyed, they discovered the leach field was actually on the neighbor's property. So to make that good and make them whole, they had made an agreement amongst themselves to create this boundary line adjustment.
Mhm.
But as Paul Manzione had stated earlier, as a formality, by changing that lot line, changes to the description of the lot, makes it a new lot, subject to the 200 feet of road frontage requirement for a new lot in this zone.
Mhm.
So that was overlooked at the time. So we're coming back to bring that formality back to the zoning board to make sure that that variance is formally granted based on.
But that's
previous
actually
action.
the next variance.
They're actually both
We're
the
going to be
same.
hearing these both at the same time?
Well, they are both exactly the same. The lot line adjustment between the two lots
That's what this one is.
creates the same issue for both of them.
Right.
Right.
So they both
We-
don't have two
But
hundred.
the way it's written is this is just strictly the lot line adjustment for this case.
For the DeRosa case.
And then the other
Cleary
case would
right
be
after.
for the 200-foot.
Yes, well,
Am I
yes, and
correct in
that,
that?
like Paul Manzione had said, right, these are
Yeah.
two new lots.
Yes.
So now they're coming forward for a variance for both because they're both under 200 feet of frontage.
Right. But we would address the applications one at a time.
Yes, one after the other.
Separately, because
Yeah.
one
Right.
lot may qualify for the relief and the other lot may not.
Exactly.
One lot could get it, the other lot could not,
Yep.
whatever. But, and that's just a hypothetical. I'm not saying anything about the merits of either of these. But the applicant was before the ZBA already on this and received a variance that did what?
The variance for the lot line adjustment here in the rear.
Why was the variance required at that time?
Lot, you keep the lot is too small, it doesn't meet the lot requirement.
Right,
They're, the Clearys are selling, giving.
right,
6,100
right.
feet.
They were taking 0.14 or something
Mm-hmm.
away from one lot.
Big
And,
lot.
and,
Making.
right, but in order to create that lot, even after it picked up the additional land, it was still going to be creating a lot that was less than 2 acres, and it has a structure on it, a residential structure, right? So the only thing that was needed at that time was a variance with regard to the 2-acre requirement. Is that right? No, but before we get to that, at that time, there wasn't a request for a variance for road frontage or anything else. Was the road frontage at that time in conformance with the 200 feet requirement? No, but when the variance was needed to create a new lot that was less than 2 acres, was the footage, the frontage on that lot, did that meet the zoning requirement of 200 feet? Okay. So that's what was overlooked then the first time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to understand the history. So now you're here with regard to that lot to seek a variance permitting the new lot that's created that's less than 200 acres. We're not going to deal with that because you've already been given that variance. So you're good that you're less than 200 acres. I'm in 2 acres. I'm sorry. I'm dealing with 200 feet and 2 acres. Yeah, 200 acres for a house now we're doing. Now you're just asking for a variance for the frontage, which is under 200 feet. What is the total frontage? Okay, thank you.
And as part of this, it's not changing.
Hmm.
That's staying the same.
So the Cleary lot, that's the line. But it had that little 0.1. But the Cleary lot had that 0.14 section jutting into the DeRosa's. Yes, yes. This little section there. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
I'm sorry, may I? Did the planning board approve that? Okay, so you got the variance from the ZBA, then you went to planning board and they approved the new lot that was created. To get approval on the footage, because you didn't have the frontage. When that lot, when the boundary line was made to create that lot, is that when the septic ended up on that lot? Okay, so that the septic was always on that lot.
That'd be either boundary line adjustment.
Oh, so I'm sorry, before the boundary line adjustment was on that lot, before that lot acquired that extra land, that extra land had the septic?
Septic. Constructed on the 30 feet.
Right,
So boundary line adjustment wants to give the land, the septic is on.
right, to that lot,
Get the septic on it.
on
Right.
on the lot that it services. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from the board?
Right, what, behind on the review of the materials, but what road is that?
Yeah, Pond Road.
Bear Pond
Bear
Road.
Pond Road.
Mhm.
Completely blank that.
May I, so do you, the lot that we're talking about now, do you know when that was created? You said long before zoning though, right?
Correct,
Okay. And there's one residential structure on it?
correct.
Are there any other buildings? Garage or a small, just a small shed? Okay, not a garage or anything.
Again, this doesn't affect in any way the two properties either side of the DeRosa property
Nope,
in any way, doesn't
No way.
affect it in any way.
correct.
May I just, so these are all individual lots too, that abutted on both sides, and these are all, and it looks like probably all of these lots, yeah. or at least many of them probably don't conform.
Most of that entire area is non-conforming.
It's not in conforming.
No, it was developed years ago. It's more like it's almost like a camp road.
Right.
Camp Road.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
small lots up there.
And this request for variance here is doing nothing to alter that road frontage. That road frontage is the way it's been
It always
from
has
way
been.
before zoning when these lots were created.
Sure.
And the only real reason they're here tonight is because when they did the boundary line adjustment, which ended up putting the septic on the lot that it serves, it just didn't include the request for that, but the ZBA saw fit to grant them that variance to create a lot less than 2 acres, because they're all smaller than 2 acres out there
Sure.
anyway. So it's just all in keeping, really.
Yes.
Well, I think this came to us once before already. too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Okay, Came here, then it went to.
Then it went to planning board,
Mhm.
and then they sent them back, right,
Because of,
of the footage, the
It's
frontage.
gave them a variance before.
Right.
and
Yeah,
It went
so
so.
we approved it the first.
that's what I
time.
mean, yeah.
We got the planning board approval. Now they're coming back and you're asking all these stupid questions.
No, that's.
I'm sorry,
that's
did I-
great. That's right.
That was edited off.
Didn't say that out loud.
Did I say that? I think you slipped a little bit. It slipped out when you were thinking.
This is why we want Frank's mic off.
Wow. No, no, but
Didn't say that. I apologize.
No, no, but that clarifies it. That's a good, and the planning board, I think, told them to come here before
Yes.
they give them final
They did.
approval, because they do need this variance.
But just to clarify.
Yeah,
What the planning board.
So we'll explain that at the beginning.
yes, but Frank had to ask again.
You would have known this.
This is true. We're actually good friends. It's.
Not anymore, they're not.
Well, no, not after that. I'm gonna rethink, I gotta rethink it.
I mean, it's pretty obvious it was an oversight when these lots were all made. That's this little section that juts into the DeRosa property. And this will now make it consistent with all the others.
Any other questions or concerns from the board? Mr. Oles, anything further?
I'm all set.
With that, I'd like to open the hearing to any public input. Anyone who's in the public who's in favor of this proposal, if they'd like to come forward.
Think we should require them to form single lines if they're gonna speak.
Develop a queue. With that, that would be a no. Is there anybody in the public input who is in opposition to this variance? Please come forward. That would also be a no. At this point, I'll close the hearing to any public input. If there's no other further questions or discussions, we can go right to the variance worksheet. I'll start off the worksheet in regards to public interest. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
You want me to go next?
Please.
Okay. The spirit of the ordinance. The request is in harmony with the spirit of the ordinance, and the intent of the master plan with the convenience, health, safety, character of the district within which it is proposed. There's really no change in anything other than the applicant is trying to make sure that the septic system is on her property versus the other property owner who agrees that they've tried to do this. This is exactly the spirit of our zoning ordinance and the intent of the master plan to help our constituents get things cleaned up to make it right.
I agree.
I agree, and I would just add that this board, having already considered all of the facts of this lot, had granted a previous variance for the lot size, and this one here regarding the frontage is not affecting anything whatsoever, so I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
By granting the variance, substantial justice will be done. This is, again, like Frank said, this is clarifying the septic system ownership of that septic system being on the proper property connected with that system. And this in no way has any effect on any abutters or any other things of the lot line adjustment.
I agree substantial justice will be done. This particular application is simply asking to allow what's been there for all these years, and that is the same amount of frontage that it's always had.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
The request will not diminish the value of surrounding properties. First, we've heard no testimony or statements from anyone to that effect. And also, nothing substantial is being changed by this variance. It's just to keep everything the way it is. So it could not in any way diminish the value of surrounding properties.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree, and I add that there is no, there has been no discussion or diminution of value from any perspective a butter concerning the value of the property.
I agree for the same reason.
Hardship for the purposes of the subparagraph, unnecessary hardship means that owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. No fair and substantial relationship exists between the general purposes of the ordinance provisions, and specific application of the provision to the property. And the proposed use is a reasonable one. Yes, and yes, it's a very reasonable request. I think the only hardship is having to go through the process to get this approved.
I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
I agree, and I would just add that the purpose of our zoning to keep 200 feet of frontage it has no application here, and this isn't somebody trying to create a brand new lot and seeking to do less than 200 feet. This is a situation that has already existed, so there's no problem with this. And the proposed use is a reasonable one. It's not changing.
Okay, with that, parties involved, you've passed all 5 criteria of the variance unanimously. Could we have a motion to grant the variance for case Z 24-45?
I make a motion that we grant case Z 24-45.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next case before us is case Z 24-46, Jay and Julie Clary, the owners, map 12, lot 91, 92 Bear Pond Road. It's a variance in the rural zone. A variance is requested from Article 400, Section 452B to allow the creation of a new lot with road frontage under 200 feet. Just give us 1 minute. We'll look over the application.
Chairman, again, I make a motion to approve to accept case Z 24-46 as complete.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, welcome. Your name?
Julie Clary,
Welcome, Julie. Go right ahead.
basically just looking the same as Keith was. We only have a 50-foot road frontage. And we're landlocked, as you can see, on both sides. So we can meet the criteria.
May I?
Go right ahead.
So may I call you Julie?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Julie, so you agreed to make some sort of arrangements for the 0.14 acres in size to go to Mr. DeRosa.
Absolutely.
Right. So you feel comfortable with that, even though it's going to take a little bit of land from your 43.3 acres.
We started at 48. I'm not happy about it, but yes,
Right.
I don't want septic on our.
Cool. Okay, actually asking that just for the record,
Okay,
so that if anybody ever contested it on the record, it would say that you agreed to.
no, we agree. We're working right along with Keith on it.
Great, wonderful.
Very good.
So, I have a question. This piece of land, now, I'm not sure exactly where your leach field, which is what's in question. Now that you have this piece, is your leach field can be,
Now, our leach field, when we get there, if you've ever been there. We'll give you the top. Rich.
yeah, but DeRosa's leach field, which is on your property,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
Mhm.
Is it securely off your property now, so it's not too close to the edge? This can't come up 7 years from now and, okay,
Oh, no, we're gonna be probably 20 acres away from it,
okay,
and it's all uphill.
yeah.
But may I, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, absolutely.
But the only thing we're here to discuss tonight on this application is the frontage. When the first variance was granted at the last meeting, was there a request for a variance for this lot at that time?
We were told to both go forward because they were both non-conforming lots.
Right.
For your criteria 200 feet.
So did the ZBA grant a variance on this 40-something acre lot? No, you couldn't have, or they wouldn't have been, they wouldn't have to come back, because the only problem is they, by doing that boundary line adjustment, if the planning board approves it, 2 new lots will be created. The 40-something acre lot will be a non-conforming lot at that time, because it won't have, it's only had 50 feet. When was that lot created that way with the 50 feet of frontage? Do you
Back in
know?
1970.
70
It was a
something?
um,
Was it the same time as the other
It's
lot?
yes.
Okay,
None of the lots in there conform. They're all
right.
family camp lots.
But they all predate zoning. 69, right, so that definitely predates zoning. And when it was created, it had that 50 feet of frontage,
Changed.
and it's been that way since then.
That's the. Have been picked up for tax purchase, and I believe the town made a couple of them combine them to try to.
I say, yeah, to make bigger frontage, but yeah. But in any event, all you're really doing is because of the other boundary line adjustment that moved the leach field onto the property that serves it. You created a brand new lot. It's been that way since 1969. It's 50 feet of frontage. That's why you need the variant.
The lot that I have where the driveway is, I would say the only way you could get to the road.
Yeah,
Very steep. Goat country.
other than that, you're not asking to change anything at all of the lot.
No,
Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? Ms. Clary, you good?
no,
Okay. At this point, I'll open the hearing up to any public input of anyone who's in favor of this variance. That would be a no. And in regards to public input, anybody in opposition, please come forward. And that is a no. So at this point, I'll close the hearing to any public input. And we could move right to the worksheet. Frank, could you start us off?
I would be happy to. Thank you. Public interest. The variance will not be contrary to public interest. There has been no demonstrable fact from the public whether this would hinder the public's interest, and I cannot see that it would be contrary to the public interest.
I agree.
I agree, and I think for many, if not all of the same reasons that were stated on the record for the prior variance.
I agree.
I agree as well.
The request is in harmony with the spirit of the zoning ordinance and the intent of the master plan with the convenience, health, safety, and character of the district within which it is proposed. This, again, this is exactly what we're looking for in their zoning areas to try to make every lot more adaptable and anything that's non-conforming to make it more conforming and make, this is exactly what the master plan and zoning ordinance is looking for.
I agree that the request is in harmony with the spirit of the zoning ordinance and intent of the master plan.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
By granting, is it my turn?
Yes, it
By-
is.
By granting the variance, substantial justice will be done. This is, the only reason the applicant is here isn't to create something new or different or to even raise issues of the applicability of our zoning laws to what's going on here. The only reason the applicant's here is because by doing the boundary line adjustment that allows the septic to be on the lot it serves, it's technically creating two new lots. Nothing is changing, and substantial justice will be done in this case to grant the variance.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree, and I add that neighbors are helping other neighbors.
I agree.
The value of the surrounding properties, this request will not diminish the value of the surrounding properties. If anything, it'll improve the value of DeRosa's property.
I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
I agree.
And lastly, in regards to hardship, for purpose of the subparagraph, unnecessary hardship means that owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. One, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to this property. That would be yes. And the proposed use is a reasonable one. Yes, it predates our zoning ordinances and this variance makes complete sense with the septic being moved. So I believe it's a reasonable one.
For those same reasons, I agree.
I agree as well.
I agree with those reasons and for the reasons I previously stated on this and the prior application, and the proposed use is a reasonable one.
I agree.
Okay, with that, Mrs. Clary, your variance was passed. For KC 24-46, I just asked that we could get a motion to grant this variance.
I'll make a motion that we grant the request for variance in case number Z 24-6.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Great.
Very good.
Good job.
Thank you.
Chairman,
Have a good evening.
Have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, we have previous business. Any previous business that needs to be discussed? That would be a no. New business. Any new business anybody would like to bring forward?
I learned of well, I won't be able to do it justice, but I learned of a new, a recent Supreme Court case that may have a bearing on this continued case. So between now and next month, I'll see what I dig up, and if it's going to be helpful to that, I'll bring it and share it. I mean, we can only talk about these things when we're in public session, so that's the reason I'm bringing it to your attention now. But I kind of have I'm not 100% sure whether it's going to be helpful to us or applicable, but I'm going to take another look at it, and if so, I'll be happy to share it.
That'd be excellent.
Thank you.
Thank
Paul.
you.
Sure.
Anything else in regards to new business? Okay, well, let's move forward to the approval of minutes for the zoning board meeting of October 3rd, 2024.
You ready for comments?
Yes, yeah.
She has the date incorrect, as she has it as October 6th. And I wasn't at the last meeting, although I'm listed as being a member.
I think when went October 3rd, those minutes.
Was it October 3rd?
Yeah, it's the sixth was a Sunday.
Mhm. Yeah, the sheet here says October third. This one, the sheet says October third, this is October
Alternate
sixth.
member.
Yeah, the meeting was October 3rd.
You were here.
I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
In October?
So,
Yeah,
yeah, it is
that's
incorrect.
the first
Yeah,
time
it was
we
October
worked
3rd.
together.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
10th.
October 3rd.
Mhm.
Yeah. We met
That was
together in
correct.
September.
It just
That was
went
good.
wrong.
Yeah, but I missed the last meeting.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was an oversight. I called.
When
her.
they continued the whole thing and we talked about the special exception and continuing it. And and not going forward with the administrative appeal, but doing the application for special exception instead. When Attorney Bisson was here, were you here that night? Okay, so you weren't here on the third.
Wasn't here for October. I know.
I thought October 3rd was the first time I was here.
I thought so.
September?
No, you were in, your first time back was in September.
Yeah, I thought it was
Because
September.
I was here then.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
And that's when we made the agreement, because the night you were here was
Yeah.
when the agreement was made to continue.
Yes. All right, so we have a date change.
Mhm.
Appreciate that, Joe.
It's-
You were not here.
I was not
You
here.
were not here. Tim Morgan was here, and he's not here now. Do we have an issue with approving this?
Can I just ask, so
No,
it says,
no, we don't. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, it says Christopher Drescher, representative for Robert Flannery. Is that who was here?
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
who was
that
here.
was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert
Okay.
Flannery is the actual
When
owner
I
of the
was
property.
here?
Yeah.
You were here.
He was,
In October?
yeah, he
Okay.
was the associate attorney from
Yeah.
Bisson's office representing him.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I do
You
remember.
were here because you're the one who asked for them to continue.
Yeah, I got it. I remember.
So, so Paul, it was Christopher Dressner that was here, not, John.
Drescher.
But Bisson was here in September.
In September.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
right,
He was not here for.
for October, right,
But you were here for this.
right.
Anybody else?
Everybody's had a chance to look at it. Could we get a motion to approve the minutes for October 3rd, 2024
So moved.
with the amended date?
So moved.
We have a second.
I second.
All in
I can't
favor?
Second, I wasn't.
Aye.
I'll second.
Aye.
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 All right, and the biggest part of our night here is the correspondence. Paul Manzioni? you
I
have any-
wish, I have a bunch of them out in the car. If you guys will wait here, I'll go get them.
If the lights are off when you
Bring 'em
come
in.
back, don't take that personal.
Don't take
Just don't go anywhere. Just keep waiting.
All right,
I will come back. I
we
will
get a
show you.
motion for adjournment. We'll get a second.
it. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
Yo.
Thank you.
It's awful. I can't do this anymore. It's too demanding. Too much.
Well, I'll tell you, you missed a lot of them that were pretty heavy.
I'll bet. Bet.
We had some pretty heavy ones.
I don't doubt it. I just saved the light stuff for me.
We can get something.